In the last video we showed you a piece of land right in the middle of our land, and this land is actually not ours. Yeah, weird, but we will use it anyway because we have trust in the local people. So we cleared up some areas to see what is there and found a lot of old abandoned ruins that we could later renovate. Everything is now cleaned up around the ruin. Small room, bigger room. But this will require some paperwork first. So to start, we're going to build a movable house on an old trailer. And we're gonna get one right now. Welcome to a new Project Kamp update. Alright, so we're currently at a place where they sell a lot of trailers, vehicles, random stuff. We're gonna see if we can find a trailer, I guess. Could also be a truck. They also have some fridges. I don't know. We're just gonna have a look around to see what they have and see what would be a good base to recycle for the house. So let's check it out. So here we have one from the circus. I think they used to sleep in here. It's very thin metal, non-insulated. Could be an option. Seemed like a good size, but let's see more. Another one here, and another circus container. Another option is an old big trailer from a truck. This is way bigger than we needed, but we could potentially cut it at size so we have the length we want, which is also an option, and maybe remove a few axes because we don't really need them. Or we just buy a smaller trailer like this one here, which is more, I think, around the size we're looking for, like 6 meter, not 12 meter. So that's also an option. Oh, here I see another circus with a cooling box inside. Looks a bit raw. Yeah. Another option is these cooling boxes, which they use to transport things. They're already thick insulated, which is nice. This one is a bit small, but you would also have higher ones. But it's also a bit nastier to work with all the fiberglass and stuff. But it's a decent option since we are looking for a well-insulated thing. So it might be nice to recycle one of these things. Not sure. Maybe we should renovate this pickup. It's a Helix. What do you think about renovating this pickup?
I see a lot of potential in this pickup. Could be a next project.
Could also get one of these things. It's the same size as a shipping container, which would be, I think, the appropriate size for us, which could give a base frame to build upon. It's a lot of stuff. He also has a lot of yarn. I don't think we need it at this point, but maybe. And tires. He also has a lot of tires. So we just left this place. You have many interesting vehicles and trailers, but apparently had another place somewhere close by with some old army vehicles and trailers, so we're gonna check that out.
So this guy apparently what he does is to buy broken companies that cannot pay anymore. So he gets everything they have, machinery. Some parts he scrap it, some parts he sell it, some parts he modified and fix. So he plays a bit around with the waste.
How's the pickup driving?
It's amazing.
Are we in trailer land?
Yeah, in trailer land or in office land. You will find many funny things. Look at that.
Wow.
On the winter, cold on the summer.
We walked around to see what we could find. So here we are at the second place. It has much more than the previous one. Wait, let me actually show you some drone shots to really see how many there are. So this place looks pretty impressive from above. It's full of old scrap metal, trailers and vehicles, with some sort of a big dugout mine next to it. Overall it looks rough. Looks like some things have been there for many years, rusting away and waiting for a new owner. It's actually nice to see places like this still exist and that people see value in reusing these things. If not, they would melt them into another metal objects or send to Africa. I don't know if you can see it from this camera, and here full of trailers, trucks, vehicles, bread boxes, many cool structures actually. So we're gonna have a walk around to see if something fits. They have these super nice trailers with a big plateau, so it's a good base that the other one didn't have to build up on. However, you still need to build all of this on top, so it would also be cool if we can find more of a box, because that means we can just recycle more materials instead of having to build something new here. Here you have one with a box on top, which is kind of a good size for us actually. Not sure what used to be inside, could be anything. So we're gonna have a look. Looks raw. Yeah. Looks like a toilet. Showers, very soft floor. It's a very rough box. And a bit dirty, like it's all this fake wood that got wet and expanded, like not really solid. So let's continue.
This could be maybe our next pickup. Look at these interiors.
See the temperature inside. Yeah. It's cold inside, but good walls. Nice temperature. Yes. Another cool one, this one, it's much higher than usual. 4 meters something, I think he said. Which is also the problem, you cannot drive it legally here on the road or something. So it's been here for 20 years. It used to transport bread in France. Which is kind of cool, so we could potentially make like a double floor or something in it. It's a lot of space. It's really rough. Old trailers, they used to move animals in. Also looks like a potential good house. But it might stink too long. Horse box. Yes. Big wheels. Let me show you. And finally we have one last cool one we saw here from the army. I think it's like an old trailer for the telecommunications or something. I see military stuff. Here. Boxes. Los Angeles, California. A lot of cool stuff inside, but not very useful. But it's cool.
It's a cool place. Difficult choice. But let's see.
And you're hot.
I'm hot. Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so that's it. We've seen many trucks. It's getting very warm now, so it's time to go. We're not really sure yet what we're going to pick, because on the one hand it's cool to take something many years old, very worn out, and really revitalize it again. But it's also rough to do it on the land, because we don't really have a proper closed space. So the moment we start sanding it or cutting it, or all the paint would blow away into nature, we don't really have a very industrial area. So we need to pick whether we want something recycle more that is older and rougher and find a way to properly renovate it, or start a bit cleaner and simpler and build more natural on top. We're not sure yet. We're going to think about it. Let us know if you have any thoughts or suggestions on where to go for. But for now we're going to digest and think about all these cool things we've seen.
Standard.
So we're now having some lunch to think about which trailer we want. Writing down the options.
We don't know what to go for.
We try to make a big list, but we still don't know how are we gonna decide this. What do you think, Dave?
Maybe someone else would know.
Who is someone else?
A whole lot of people, maybe all together, they would know the best option.
Where do
Where
we
do we
find
find
those?
those? Yes,
Yeah.
good question. Not in here. Not in here. So me and Adrian went to visit the scrapyard and we started looking into different kind of trailers and boxes that are on top. We couldn't decide, so we figured you guys can decide what house we're going to build up. So now on Patreon you can vote which option we should go for, and we'll pick whatever comes out of the votes. Kind of scary to do, but yeah, hope it's going to be okay. So then we made a poll on Patreon. We like to include more people to the decision-making process because we feel this project is for everyone. So this seemed like a good tryout. We had 5 different trailers, each having their pro and con. And the winner was... Big trailer. We're currently here to actually buy it. It's in very raw condition, as you might have seen me saying it on the video, but you chose it anyway, which means a lot of work for us. So the guys of the scrapyard brought the big trailer. They delivered it to the land close by because their yellow truck cannot go on our bumpy road. For that we need a local tractor. And we actually also needed to prepare the middle land. What do you think about it?
Rough, promising.
Alright, so we're currently in the middle land and we can come here by walking a few narrow pathways between the bushes, but in order to bring a trailer here there's not really a road for that. Not that size at least, because everything around it is fully overgrown with mimosas and brambles. So we need to make that. But turns out it's not that easy. So we need to figure out where we're gonna make it. So let me show you what our options are. Alright, so just as a reference, we're currently here in the middle land. Then we have our base camp right here and the big bottom grass field is here. So on the middle land we had this ruin that we discovered and this big middle terrace, which is actually lower than all the other parts, but this is where the trailer needs to go. Now there's no route to go there with a big vehicle. It's fully overgrown with mimosas, so we need to make it. And we have 2 options. A route from here, which is the shortest one, so it seems like it makes sense, or a longer one right here, which is coming from base camp. Now the short one seems nice, but it actually has a few downsides. Let me show you. So the biggest downside is there's a big height difference here, and this is quite a steep wall. And actually in winter a lot of water flows here, so it also erodes the land. So the road is there where you can see the little pole. So if you want to drive here with a truck, we need to fully cover this with earth so we can drive it, which is a big operation and probably would flush away again in winter due to the water stream here. So I was just down there. So this is the road the truck would need to go, which is also a bit of a downside that this road is quite narrow with a steep turn there. So it would be kind of a difficult maneuver to turn the trailer here down there. Let me show you our second option. Second option is right here. I'm currently near base camp, which is behind me, and the road would need to be here. No real sign of a road yet, but the main upside is there's a road here, here and here. So I'm currently at an intersection, which should make it easy for a big truck to maneuver and turn around. And the big upside is also there's no big height difference here when you go down. It's just a slow slope. It's a bit of a lengthier one. We need to make a curve in there, but then we would arrive in the second terrace. So this should be a bit more chopping work, but much more easy to access later on. So I think we're going to go for this option, and it also has a lot of little mimosas. And over here it's quite dense with a lot of very young, thin mimosa sticks. We're going to use this saw blade on the brush cutter. Rarely use this because it feels a bit rough, but it also seems for this purpose quite suited. Just quickly chop a lot of small little sticks. So let's see. So you might wonder, isn't it bad to chop down all these trees? So let me explain you our situation with this little oak right here. This oak is a native tree from here, and the trees around me are invasive trees called mimosa, and they grow fast, really fast, much faster than this oak. And the downside of that is that they take all the sun from this little oak tree that wants to grow. So it's a very dominant species, and it makes it very hard for this little oak to survive. So by cleaning up the mimosas, we get more chances of survival for the native trees. We hope it helps the ecosystem here also to create a bit more of a resilient forest. So we're going to keep all the oaks we see, all the native trees, and only clear up the mimosas. So I think we're now about 1/3. Still need to go through there. Almost there. Almost there. Now we have opened the path for the trailer to come, but not really. The road itself is still very rough, some more work to do. Alright, so now everything is chopped, there's a lot of stuff on the ground. Next step is going to clean it all up, but it's going to be a lot of work, so I'm going to get some help.
I can take this one then.
After removing all the trees, we called a local friend with a digger to help us remove the roots, to make sure they don't stick out and hopefully the mimosas don't grow back fast. So they're currently cleaning up all the mimosa roots, leveling the soil so that the big trailer can come. And we're currently on the middle land and the trailer is going to be here. So the roots go till here. Now finally we can move the trailer to the land. We're not sure if the brakes still work and the road is quite narrow and hilly, so we put the digger in the back to make sure the trailer doesn't drive over the tractor. Vai, vai. Vai, vai, vai. How did it go?
Smooth, very smooth.
So here we have the trailer. Very beautiful. It has some new backlights for transport. It's on the land finally. Nice. Let me show you a few things. First off, it's blue, as you might have seen. There's a handle here that I have no clue what it does, but it turns surprisingly smooth. So feels like it's been used. Bunch of cables to connect. No idea what they mean. Looks a bit rusty, but I guess we don't need them. There's a few small cosmetic holes here and there. Not much profile in the wheels. Looks like a go-kart or something. Yeah, it looks good. Here we have a box. I have no idea what's inside. Never opened it. It's a bit rusty. Wow. No, it does nothing. Besides a stone. So yeah, here are a bunch of things on the bottom. I think we could strip it out because not going to use many of that. I have no idea what any of this is. I recognize the wheels.
Yes.
So here we have the beautiful inside. Yeah, what can I say? It's a little bit rusty on the edges. And also the wood is a bit rotten. And the roof doesn't really exist. I mean, there's something. You wanted this, patron. You wanted this. And there's some dividers in here. It's pretty good. Need some paint. And some holes in the floor rusted. This thing looks a bit like a prison. As you can see, it needs quite some work, but it's a pretty nice big size. So we're not sure yet what we're going to do because we want to reuse as much as possible. But overall, the underlying base is pretty solid and the size is also pretty good. It's like a nice box to build something in. So we're also going to start the design work and planning how do we want to arrange the space. We're thinking of dividing it, so we have some sort of a bedroom area where we can chill, and maybe a wall with a door where you have more of a little kitchen and a place to relax, and a door there. Maybe thinking of replacing those with a big glass window. But overall, the first rough work, what needs to be done is to clean it up, see the damage, and then insulate the walls, build a frame, build a roof on top, and then we can start on the interior. If you're interested to help out working on a rusty trailer, you can still sign up below. You kind of need to be fast because we're going to move fast with this project. But yeah, if you want to follow it, make sure to subscribe or continue supporting us on Patreon if you want to vote another time that we're going to buy a rusty thing like this. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Wait, I forgot to say something very important.
Yes, next video is gonna be update 88, so it means challenges video. We will talk about past, current challenges, and also we will do a Q&A.
So don't forget to make your questions in the comment section and we will try to answer everybody.
Yeah, see you in the next update. Ciao.